Hello, I'm Jean Pete, and I welcome you back to our show, Better Living. Better Living is brought to you by the Homestead Hope Foundation and is sponsored by Homestead Hospice, where commitment to education and premier hospice care helps patients and families through life's most important journey. Thank you for joining me again this week. Spring is in the air, love is in the air, and we are back with an old friend of the show, not an old friend, a longtime friend of the show, Dejuan Miller, who is the CEO of Heartbeat Matchmaker. She is a relationship expert, relationship and dating coach, and she is here to give us an update on all things having to do with happiness and love and what you can do to live your best life for the rest of your life. Hey, Dejuan, thanks. Welcome back.
Hey, Jeannie. How are you?
I'm doing great. So just refresh our audience, because for those folks that come back and listen to us every week, I know you're familiar to them. You've been on once a year for the last 3 years, I think.
Exactly. I'm here spreading the love.
So remind us who you are and how you got involved in this.
Okay. Well, my name, of course, like you said, is Dejuan Miller, and I am CEO and professional matchmaker with Heartbeat Matchmaker. We will actually be celebrating our 5 years in business next month.
Holy cow.
This is huge. We've got a huge soiree coming up, and just about everything that we do and any event that we have, we do it for some charity. And the one that we have chosen that's really close to our hearts is Nicholas House. And that's for the homeless people here in Atlanta. Families, they keep
great.
Families together.
So a % of your proceeds goes to Nicholas House?
Yes, it does.
That's wonderful.
And then we always have people that either come to our event and then they end up volunteering down there. They need all the help they can get. And they appreciate everything.
And that's right in downtown Atlanta, Midtown?
Yes, it's downtown Atlanta, and it's called Nicholas House.
That's great.
So look them up on Facebook.
I always love it when the guests that come in are also giving back to the communities. We happen to find wonderful guests that truly have a passion for seniors and giving back to the community. And throughout my travels over the years in home care and in hospice, I've come across some wonderful people like Dejuan. And, you know, I'm just so blessed to have this radio show as a vehicle to educate and empower people to be informed so they can live their best lives ever. But I'm also blessed because of the people I get to meet in doing this and bringing back to the community. So I'm just so thrilled to hear that, you know, you're bringing love to people, you're bringing relationships to people, you're enhancing their lives, and then on top of that, you're giving back to the community and you're enhancing the lives of others. So that's just wonderful.
It's
and that's
great.
another reason I love you.
And I love you too, sweetheart. Yeah. It's spreading the love, no matter who you are, no matter what age you are. Everybody deserves love. And it's never too late to have another love.
So speaking of love and it never being too late to have another love, let's talk about that. In all of your 5 years of matchmaking, and I know you have a very cool history before that, but we're going to talk about love, and we're going to talk about how it is never too old to find a new love. And we talked the last time you were here about my mom finding love at 72 and how wonderful they are. They're still like teenagers in love.
They are.
We'll talk
it's like,
about that.
Again, it's like kids. You know, we all of course grow up to be an adult. At least hope that we do. We're just growing up with responsibilities. And usually the senior, it's either they've been through divorce or never married or widowed. And you're never too late to find love, no matter if it's later in life. And then if you've already had one love, you can still have another one. You can always fall in love more than one time. And
it's okay to have another love.
Exactly.
I see this because I have worked in home health and in hospice, where you have your life partner. And it's so difficult to lose a life partner. And then there's all kinds of guilt, especially I find with women. I think with men, there is a man in the room. But with men, I think they need a woman to help them.
Statistically, men tend to get remarried much quicker than women.
But women, they feel guilty or they can't get over the fact that they lost someone due to death. And you know what? This show is called Better Living. Yes. And you are living until you take your last breath.
Exactly.
And so why not have love or that relationship, however you define that relationship, for the rest of your life? You don't stop living.
Well, love brings happiness. And see, happiness is a cure for loneliness. And then if you get rid of loneliness, you live happier and healthier longer. So look for a partner. It doesn't have to be that, that passion that you might have had when you were in your 20s or 30s, but it's a deeper love. It's a commitment, and it's security and respect
and just companionship.
Yes, companionship.
And you get out more.
Touch.
I'm looking at my mother. My goodness, they're traveling once a quarter because they raise their kids. Been there, done that. This is the time of their life. So,
well, people are living
for
longer.
Seniors,
yeah.
I just want love to be in the air. I want you to be matchmaking. So, but it's scary.
Well, it's not. It's also, yeah, because you got to do your due diligence. Do a background check on people. Just don't assume that the person is who they say they are. Because, I mean, especially if you're doing online dating, I know that we've talked about this in the past. Do your due diligence. That's why I tell everybody, if you're in a rush, well, I shouldn't say rush, but you're looking for your happy ever after and you want it like tomorrow, and not want to have to take 2 years of going through online dating, hire a matchmaker. They do the background checks. They vet the people. I mean, we spend 2.5 hours getting to know our clients. Even those that don't become our clients, we keep in the back of our brain or in the computer system as well and say, hey, oh my gosh, this great guy would be great for this great girl. I'm going to call her up and say, hey, I think I've got a great match for you. Come and meet him.
And it does kind of take the whole stigma of falling in love and oh wait, I got to do a background check and find out about you. But it's so important, especially later in life. You've built your wealth, you've built your life. You need to also protect not just your heart, but your life.
The way that social media is now, and anybody can be anybody behind a computer screen, you need to check that person out. You're not physically straight face to face getting to know someone. It's through words on a computer screen, or it's, like I said, this modern technology. We are even texting. And of course, that's one of my number no-nos. You actually have to pick up the phone, call someone, it's the old-fashioned way, and say, hey, this is David. Dejuan, would you like to go out Thursday night? You know how that goes. So, yeah, do your due diligence. I mean, and it's an easy thing to do nowadays. You don't have to hire a private investigator. Go to Google and do personal search. And you can get most records that way. Not all. But if you have a red flag, definitely get some help.
And let's talk a little bit about online dating, because it can be scary to get out there. And, this show is geared towards seniors and their loved ones to educate them about all things related to living their best life in the second part of their lives or towards the end of their lives. And hopefully that end is 30, 40 years long.
Exactly.
But we mentioned how scary it is after you've been in a relationship 30, 40, 20, 30, 40 years, and getting back out there can be so difficult. I mean, it's a whole different world. It is.
And you know what? When you've been with one partner for so many years, it's so hard to think of being with someone else, especially if you haven't known them most of your life. So that uneasy feeling, uncomfortable feeling, it's just the brand new of meeting someone. It's just like forming a friendship, a relationship. It's getting to know someone. Then you can still have butterflies, whether you're 20 or 70 or 80.
But it's not, but when you get out there for the first time, you go back to what you knew of a dating experience. And for folks who were in relationships for 20, 30, 40 years, that dating experience, that courtship, that meeting someone in the laundromat or the grocery store and chit-chatting and going for coffee, it's almost out the window. So you have to sometimes try online dating just to get your feet wet. Or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that you just pinpointed a great thing that I always tell everybody. If you really want to find and date quality and don't want to spend multiple hours or months or even years online dating and going through multiple people, hire a matchmaker. Let that person do the due diligence for you. Let that person, like for example, I tell everybody, I can go pick a needle out of a haystack, put two personalities together, and wham, they're in love. So that's what you should be looking for, is how much effort and how much work is it going to take you, and especially if you don't know how to date, and if you've been in that commitment and you've dated the same way years and years ago, just like you said, dating is not the same anymore.
And we've talked about this on past shows, because I absolutely hated the whole idea of online.
I know.
I was scared to death of it, didn't believe anybody was who they said they were supposed to be, didn't want to deal with it. But when you're getting out there for the first time, you do kind of have to test the waters. You're not going to meet the love of your next life
Absolutely
the first time. So you do still say, go to a matchmaker, even though maybe you're not really ready to be matched?
Well, here's what, now, it depends. If you can afford a matchmaker, yes, absolutely go to a matchmaker.
Because at least you know it's safe.
Yes, completely safe. And then you know that your wealth, because we do background checks. We know if they're criminal. But not just that. My gift for being a matchmaker is intuition. I can read somebody. I know if they're a good person, bad person, and it has not failed me yet. I mean, I've been doing this, even though it's only been 5 years in business, over 35 years in my life.
And I was reading your stats. You have over 100 happily married couples.
Yes.
Not just married, happily married.
Happily married still.
And over 500 successful dating relationships.
Yes.
So that's 600 in 5 years.
Exactly.
That's almost one every other day, if I do the math right.
Well,
right?
yeah, but I've actually had some of those before I even started my business. Like my brother. My brother's my favorite setup. They've been happily married for 24 years. Still kiss, hold hands, I love you, can't wait. We're together.
I think that touch and that cuddling is so
is.
important. We have, Alan happens to be in the studio today,
he's so
he's
sweet.
staying
I'm
in
so
the
glad I
corner.
got
He
to
does
meet
not
him.
want to talk. He does not want to get rung into this show today. But we have a new living room set in our basement, and it's a TV room. So we have 2 reclining chairs with a little console in the middle where you can put drinks and you can keep your remote controls inside the little armrest. And it's a beautiful set of furniture, but I hate it because it's in between me and him, and we can't get connected, So
Alan,
I'm thinking I'm going to
that.
move the furniture around because that is so important.
It is. Well, touch is important for anybody. That's why it says, I tell everybody, at least hug, one person a day, because that will help you live longer. It's a healthier, it's a feel. It's just like a medicine. I mean, hugging is a medicine. But you know what? You said something else I wanted to say, too, because one of the first times I came on the show, you were so bitter about men. There's no way you were ever going to find the love of your life. And then,
I'm so embarrassed when I listen to that show.
But I love it.
Ridiculous.
And I said, get dating advice, get coaching advice. And you and I talked many, many times on the telephone about what it is to look for a man. And you had tried the online dating as well. But see, you've got a great guy now. And I love watching you being in love. I love it. Yes, you're lucky. People can find love on online dating, absolutely, but it will take you a lot longer and a lot of people to go through. So it depends on how much time, effort, and money you want to put into it. I tell everybody, if you spend a year online dating and you've gone on 10 bad dates, you've already paid for us.
I'm not really a proponent, honestly, because I still think there's too many people on there just to play.
They are.
No matter what they say, they're just on there to play. And I have lots of single friends who it just seems like consistently get
and
hurt.
had the heart. I know you were talking about one of your really good friends last time, and they do. Again, that goes back to the men. It's in a sea of women, so they have their pick. I mean, here in Atlanta, there's a lot more women than there are men.
Yeah, and it's not just the men's fault. The women
I know.
throw themselves at 'em.
Exactly. But see, let's go back onto this though. Women give themselves because they want to show a man they care about them. Men, if they're going to get the physical part, what man is going to turn that down? Absolutely not one.
Right.
But if you let them get emotionally connected to you, that builds the relationship. So I always tell my clients, hold off until you're in a committed relationship. Definitely not before the 4th date, because we have a rule. It's a 3-date to eliminate. By the 3rd date, you should know you want to just focus on this person and go from that point on. Online dating, you don't know how many people they're dating. You don't know how many people they're sleeping with. So again, that's the difference between online and matchmaking.
Yeah. But again, to just kind of bring it back to those folks that haven't been out there in a long time, it might not be a bad idea. Just go have that drink. Remember what it's like to talk to somebody of the other sex with coffee or whatever. And you don't even have to take it that far. Just a bunch of first dates. But when you really get serious, and even before that, if you can afford it, I absolutely am a proponent of what your service is, Dejuan, because I did get lucky, but
Yes,
I
you
was
did.
done. I was not going to be dating. I figured I would take a hiatus for a while.
But you asked a lot of questions, though. You asked a lot of questions. You were very involved about your happy ever after.
That's true. That's true. But I just think your service is so worth it. Because when you think about all of the times you go out and you're buying dinners, and nowadays it's not always the man. You share it. And there's a cost to dating. There's a cost to getting clothes. There's a cost to getting jewelry. There's a cost to getting your hair done so you can go on another date. And all those costs together for your kind of service, and it's safer, and they've been vetted, and people are more serious. They come to you, they're going to pay. They're not paying to play.
Yeah,
but
you know
paying
what?
to find their love.
And something else too, we have all different services that we offer. It's not just matchmaking. We offer relationship coaching. We offer dating coaching. I mean, there's people that
that's
come in.
awesome.
Yeah. So for a month, you can come in and learn what it is that you need to do on a date, or how to go about dating, and how to get the relationship that you want. It's to pinpoint exactly what it is that you need in your life and what you can bring to the other
and maybe
person in a
even
relationship.
just to get that confidence back.
And that's what we build. We build
self-confidence.
confidence. That's exactly what's on our
Because I
website.
remember my mother, and I told this story the last time you were here, but I have to tell it again because it's just the
It's
cutest
great.
story. My dad died, and he was gone 5 years, and my mother came to visit me here in Georgia, and we were sitting out by the pool with my other single friend, and my mother said, well, I have a date when I go back to Boston, and I just don't know what to do, Jeannie, and we just had more fun with her. We gave her a glass of wine, and that's very out of the ordinary for my mother.
Yeah.
And we talked all about men and dating, and she was so embarrassed, and she was 70 years old. Well, she went back to Boston, and she had a date with Dennis. And a year later, they got married. They moved to Georgia. They're like honeymooners.
That is
teenagers
wonderful.
in love here in Georgia, and they just couldn't be happier. They're just the cutest couple. They sit on the couch and hold hands and still get giddy, giggling about each other. It's
There should be
wonderful.
no expectations when you go on a date. There should be no expectations. Just relax and be yourself. Do what you like to do. And even, you're talking about going and finding someone. They don't necessarily have to go online. They don't necessarily have to find a matchmaker. They can find people in church, and anything they like to do. Let's say they like to dance. Go to Arthur Murray, take some dance lessons. And, you see a lot of the older crowd that go there.
And that's what they did. They went to up in Boston, it's very big, the Irish dances.
Oh, how
So they'd
cool.
gone to the Irish dances, and they had kind of eyed each other, and then friends got them together and schemed about how they were going to meet. And, Dennis has to drop some clothes off for a charity, and we're here at your house, so he's coming here to drop them
Yeah, we
off.
do that too. It's placing a person at the right time in someone's life. Yes, great idea.
Very cute. So, but I do want to talk about how you give relationship advice too, because especially when you're in long-term relationships, you've learned what worked well and what didn't work well. And even if you had a beautiful marriage and you lost someone to death, there's probably things that you would want to change if you were going to try to do this again. So what is your greatest advice for somebody who is entering the dating world after a long time?
I definitely would come and get relationship coaching. Plain and simple, get relationship coaching. That puts you on the right path of what you're looking for. And that also will pinpoint, just like you said, things that you didn't like possibly in your marriage that you don't want to find in someone else. Let's, for example, you might have had a wonderful marriage, but you really didn't like that your husband drank that much. So definitely look for someone that doesn't hang out in the bars. I definitely wouldn't be going to the bars to find someone. Things of that nature. Or smoking. You may not want someone to smoke. I mean, it's
and that was
proven
my
that it
mom
kills
and
people.
dad.
Yeah.
Dad smoked, died of lung cancer. Mom was not going to find another person that smoked.
Yes.
Wasn't going to happen.
I won't date anyone that smokes either because, I want to be around. I want them to be around. If I'm in love, I want them to be around as long as I am.
That's right. That's right. So on the relationship coaching, how long should someone come in? What is the average time they need to spend with you?
I would say 6 weeks. We go all the way up to 3 months and
Okay.
even longer. But especially if someone's come out of a really bad divorce, it could take them 6 months or longer. But the 3 weeks, the 6 packages, that can either be done in 3 weeks or 6 weeks. And I usually like to do it, if they're in the dating scene already, I like for them to come in twice a week. Then I get feedback on how they've reacted when they've gone out. What the emotion is. I want to hear about the emotion. I want to hear about the date. I want to hear about the experience. And then we kind of got them what to do, what not to do.
So about twice a week for 6 weeks. And what's it, about an hour?
They're an hour long. Yes.
Okay. And what does something like that cost?
It can go anywhere from $800 to $3,200.
Okay.
This really depends on, some are more than an hour. It just really depends on where they're at in their life and what they're looking for. And as I guess emotionally scarred. It really depends on if they've had a really bad heartbreak, if they're heartbroken from a death, and they're a widow. A lot of people have a hard time getting over that death, just like you said.
Absolutely.
They feel guilty, and they feel like they're cheating on, even though their spouse is already gone, they feel like they're cheating, but yet they need someone in their life, and they want someone. And another thing is, too, you can fall in love more than once. You can fall in love more than twice, and each love is different.
And I want to talk about that too, because that guilt, it makes me sad for
Yes.
people. And they hold on to the guilt and prevent themselves to getting to the next step because they don't feel they have the right, because they lost their loved one to death. So I do want to talk more about that. But first, I want to talk to folks about how they can get in touch with you if they think that this is something that they want to investigate in helping them find love again. And Dejuan is right here in Atlanta, but you can call from anywhere. I mean, you are a jet setter.
Yes.
You go anywhere. I never know when she's in town or out of town and what she's doing, except that I see all her Facebook pictures. She's got a better social life than anyone I know.
Well, I have clients in all different states now. We have 7 matchmakers throughout the United States that have contacted us to set their clients up. And we have a phenomenal team. Everybody works well together. We all bring something special to it. We have our own strengths. I have a great younger team that works well with all ages. And like Whitney and I, my daughter, who is my mini-me, Director of Client Services, and then Brittany, who is our social media marketing guru, she just graduated college, and they're both here with us today. But we all are invested in all of our clients' happiness. So we all are making sure that we bring whatever they need to get them to their goal, their point, whether it's falling in love, committed relationship, marriage. Whitney and I just got back from Philly for a 74-year-old client that flew us up there. She really wanted to meet me, really wants to hire us. And there's other matchmakers in the north, but she had interviewed quite a few people on the phone. She talked to me, I guess, 5 weeks, over a 5-week period, and flew us up there. And normally, I will go tell them what to do, but she's 74 going on 50. And I'm not kidding.
And so let's get your information out, because it 404-536-1046. You can reach Dejuan. She is here in Atlanta. Again, that's 404-536-1046. And is there a website folks can go on to check you out?
Yes, it's heartbeat-matchmaker.com. And our office is at City View, Alpha Cumberland Boulevard, 3330 Cumberland Boulevard, Suite 500, Atlanta, Georgia.
And it's Dejuan. Or her daughter might answer the phone, Whitney or Brittany, or Dejuan, anyone you talk to. They're wonderful. So please do give her a call, because, Dejuan, I am fortunate, and Alan is sitting here, so of course that's what I'm going to say.
I was so happy to meet you, Alan.
But I do think I was about to go on a hiatus. I was about to just shut down and be done. But I knew I had Dejuan in my back pocket, so that if I ever became ready a couple years down the road, that's what I was going to do. I wasn't doing online. I wasn't doing bars, nothing. I was going to go and do it right. I am a huge proponent of this, because I think for your safety, for your security, for your happiness ever after, it is well worth the investment. You know what? I might skip a couple of dresses and find the right match.
Exactly.
I didn't have to, thankfully.
Yeah, you did very well. Well, we're your quick trip to happy ever after. That's what we tell everybody.
Quick trip to happy ever after. That's wonderful. Well, we do have to take a quick break, but stay with me, because when we come back, I do want to talk again about that guilt and help you realize how important it is that you live and continue on your journey for as long as you are here on this earth. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, I'm Jean Pete, and I welcome you back to our show, Better Living. Better Living is brought to you by the Homestead Hope Foundation and is sponsored by Homestead Hospice, where commitment to education and premier hospice care helps patients and families through life's most important journey. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Jean Pete, and I'm still here with Dejuan Miller, who is the CEO of Heartbeat Matchmaker. She is our relationship expert, relationship dating coach, and we are talking about all things having to do with love and happiness and living your best life for the rest of your life. So, before the break, we talked about dating and how hard it is to be in a relationship for a long period of time, whether you're divorced or widowed, or
some people may
never have been married or live with someone. Dejuan has wonderful advice to help you get over that initial fear that might prevent you from finding your happily ever after for the rest of your life. But Dejuan, I want to talk specifically about, because this show is geared towards older adults, and I've seen it with people who lose loved ones to death, and they hold on to them, and then you have adult children that also come into the mix, And you'd think they were grown up and it would be okay. But for some reason, mothers, too, going out and dating again, it's just
They're protective.
difficult.
They don't want to get them. They don't want to get hurt.
And you know where I found it was with the brothers. The sons of the mothers who lost their husbands have a hard time with moms going out and dating again.
Again, they're the most protective.
Oh my goodness. So, and I have a wonderful family and we all embrace we call him our new daddy. I'm in my mid 40s and I have a new stepdaddy. But let's help these folks because so many people, and my grandmother was one of them. She lost my grandfather at 70 and that was it. That was it. And I think that she would have liked to date, but there was guilt and there was something holding her back. How do you help people get over that initial hump and maybe even help them have those conversations with their children, their adult children?
Well, that goes back to a need for relationship coaching. That will help you immensely. But always remember that you deserve to have someone for your whole entire life. God made us not to be alone. He made us to be with someone, and hopefully someone that brings happiness and love to our lives. So look for that. Just remember that you are worth it. Even though you had a love of your lifetime and you think that there's no way you could again, against odds, you will end up with it. That will, when you're not looking, when you least expect it, you will end up with it because you can fall in love. And each love, like I said before the break, was each one is different. Some can be a deeper love, some can be a lighter love. They all are a love of some sort, and that is what brings happiness. And again, that comes to comfort and touch and security, stability, communication.
You deserve it. You're
Exactly.
right. You're worth it. You're still here.
Exactly.
You can't punish yourself because they're not here with you
And
any
if
longer.
they truly, really loved you, they wouldn't want you to be alone. I mean, that shortens your life. And when it comes to your grown-up children, daughters seem to be the first ones that say, I want you to go date. And they're more protective of their dads because they don't want someone to be a gold digger going after their dad for their money.
Yeah, God help the person he dates.
Exactly.
But he can go out and find someone.
Exactly. But, they want their dad, and especially
Happy.
if he's older, and they definitely want him to be happy. Now, we made a mention about sons and their moms. That's a total different ballgame. Men are so much more protective of their mothers, and they're thinking that there's really no one good enough for them. And they said, well, what do you need? You had a love with dad. Let me fix the things that go wrong with your house. You don't need a man. I'm your man, But yet, they don't realize that, again, there's touch. There's human connection.
And even just going out and being active. It's easier to do that when you have a companion to do that with.
Exactly.
And that keeps you young.
Exactly. You've got
alive.
you've got to be active. So there's got to be things that you like. So pinpoint those and go and do them. I mean, whether it's knitting, join a club, knitting club. Whether it's reading books, join a book club. Whether it's movies. Now, movies are a big thing that you go and you watch movies and then you go out to dinner and you discuss the movies. And the same thing, again, and my favorite, you're never too old to do something that's physical activity. Dancing is one of my favorites. And walking. Go walk the gym. Go walk the mall. I mean, I can't tell you how many elders are walking the mall.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, whether it's freezing cold outside or it's 100 degrees outside.
And you know what? There's so much to do here in Georgia. I mean, you just have so many options. I'm from Boston. We had the heart of culture. We could be in the mountains. We could be at the beach. I loved it. It took me a while to get used to coming down here. But I love Atlanta. You can be in Chattanooga. You can be in
There's Aquinas shops everywhere. Well,
Warm
just
Springs,
here closely. Roswell,
beach.
Alpharetta. They've got all these little places. The squares, Marietta Square, Roswell Square,
And they have concerts
Yes.
at night in the summertime. And you know what I love? Because I live in Kennesaw, so Smith Gilbert Gardens. But there are gardens all over. And
Exactly.
you can go
Botanical
watch
gardens,
the
Callaway
flowers
gardens.
bloom. And they have little outdoor courtyards where you can grab a lunch. It's such a fun day.
It is.
There's so much to do, but you're not going to go there alone. So you deserve to have a companion. You deserve to have someone that will keep you young, keep you alive, keep the oxygen flowing in your body, and keep your heart beating.
Exactly. Jeannie, you just said something now. I want to make sure that the listeners hear this. There's outdoor concerts everywhere. And the last couple of years, there's a lot of concerts that are the remake bands, like the Four Tops. I mean, that's a great thing to go do. And so you're going to meet other people closer to your age range that have probably either been divorced or widowed. those are great places to go find and meet
And
people.
you mentioned Marietta Square. I
Yes.
mean, they have
They are the best.
amazing
They are the
concerts.
best
You
ones.
just go with your little chair in hand. You can pack a little picnic. It's free,
I love it.
and it's awesome.
Yes. I take my kids there. I mean, actually, our whole team went there for fun. I mean, we do a lot of things together, too. So, I mean, we really do love people. And we'll talk to anybody. I mean, and if Whitney gets on here.
Yeah, let's talk to you, Whitney.
We have this saying, we can talk to the wall, and eventually that wall will talk back to us.
Yeah, we have a great gift that way.
I bet. So in your experience with your mom's company, and I guess it's your company
Yes.
too,
Yes.
Heartbeat Matchmaker, what do you see are the biggest obstacles for people finding happiness, and how do you help them?
Right now in this day and age, and I am 25, just so the listeners know, social media is a huge downfall to society right now. I talk to people, like my mom said, we talk to people of all ages, of all different incomes, and it's crazy because I get a lot of feedback saying, wow, you're 25 and you're talking to me. You can hold a conversation with me.
I know,
and
it's sad.
That's because the world that we live in, nobody communicates through the phone. Nobody talks to people as much as they used to. And I almost wish that we could go back to that. And we really try to teach people to do that. It's the old-fashioned ways that worked. And that's why there's so many marriages from years and decades ago that are lasting so long. And there's a lot of reasons why the ones that are today are not lasting. And it's because there's so many other things in the mix, the technology, the social media.
You're not investing in getting to know someone.
Exactly.
No, you have to
exactly.
You're keeping a wall up, whether you're talking to them over the phone or texting.
Exactly.
It's not that interpersonal strength, the strength of that interpersonal relationship and the steps that you take face to face.
Right.
To really and truly invest
Exactly.
in your relationship.
And a lot of what we do in our business is we help to guide people. What's going to be right for one person may not be right for the other person, but they have us to help them. We give feedback off of first phone calls, off of first dates. This works for this girl. This is totally not going to work for this girl. And we try to guide you and help you on making your
The right
first
choices.
meeting.
Your moves.
Exactly.
According to your
exactly.
inner person.
Exactly.
The right
We're the
moves for
invisible
you.
hand holder. That's what. So that's
I
and
love
that's great for
that.
the older generation. Yeah, so you know
It's
that there's somebody
priceless,
there.
honestly, because
Yeah.
it is so scary. And I'm not older in the older gen. I'm in the midlife.
even
but
in the
for me,
40-year-olds,
I'm
even
an
the
old soul.
40-year-olds, yes, even the 40-year-olds, they need it. I mean, I can't tell you how many
More than anything.
Yes.
Because at least, when you get to that 60, 70 range, there was still that chivalry when
Yes.
they were dating. And that's still ingrained in the character of men and women in that age group. Us 40-somethings, I really think we've got it pretty tough.
Yeah, we do. And like Whitney said, I kind of sometimes wish that we had those phones that were hooked to the wall instead of the cell phones.
Yeah.
I mean, it is convenience, and it's great. It's been a great invention for us being able to keep up with our loved ones. I love that. I'm not
It's great
knocking
for
that.
safety because
Yes.
you know that you can get in touch.
But for falling in love and building a relationship, it's not the best. Pick up the phone, hear the emotion. You want to know someone's excited to see you. You want to know
Yeah.
if they're anticipating a date or.
And I love what you said, Whitney, because you're 25. So we always think, oh, that's the technology age. Those kids, they don't know anything,
Right.
So it's refreshing to know. Of course, you're in this business, but
Yeah.
you're wiser than most. But even I fell into it when I did meet Alan. He's not here in the studio anymore, but I'm so busy. I travel for work. I rush. I'm a single mom, trying to take care of 2 teenage boys. It's very easy to pick up the phone and shoot a text. And he would remind me, you can pick up the phone.
Oh.
And it's a man that said, you know what? I don't want to do this on text. Call me.
You have to
And
slow
I had
down.
to reprogram myself. Even I'm telling myself here, because you get so busy in this day and age, it's very easy to shoot something. Oh, I'll meet you later. No, pick up the phone. I want to hear your
People
voice.
want to hear it. They want to hear that. I mean, if they're not getting to see you, at least they can hear that voice they fell in love with.
The thing about it is we have to slow down. If someone is important to you, you need to take the time out of your day to show them that they are important to you.
That's right. That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
because you can't. I mean, you're not going to bed with someone on the phone. You're going to bed with them in physical being.
And put the phone away when you are eating dinner or
yes.
involved with each other. That's a pet peeve of mine. You want someone's attention.
Exactly.
Well, and it's a huge turnoff when dating. I mean, we actually spoke with a guy the other day who literally walked out of a restaurant,
Paid for the date.
Yeah, got the waiter, paid for the date, and he left. And she's sitting there texting him, calling him, and everything. Well, what happened? Well, I wasn't there to go on a date with your phone. I was there to go on a date with you and to meet you and to get to know you, and you didn't give me that opportunity. That's a turnoff for a lot of people. If you are really serious about dating and getting out there and meeting people, you have to give them your time.
And not only that, because I've done enough of these shows that I'm blessed to be able to look inward for total health. But if you can't live in the present, you are robbing yourself
Of your future. I absolutely agree.
absolutely robbing yourself of not only your future, but your ability to be happy.
Yes.
Because either you're so, and this was me, either you're so out of balance. I threw myself into work. Okay, now I got to figure out how to raise these two kids all by myself. The buck stops here. I have to make sure I can pay the bills. I have to make sure there were no changes. I have to spend time with them when I'm at home. And the world started spinning. Just started spinning. And it was just constant. I was constantly on the phone, following up with emails, doing texting, trying to talk, riding in the car, doing 3 things at once. I robbed myself of my
happiness.
life
Yes.
in that time frame. If you find yourself in that place, this is no longer just about finding a new love. This is about finding yourself and getting recentered and rebalanced, because you can't find love until you have that balance in your life. Healthy love.
Exactly.
Healthy love.
We teach people how to go about who they are to find love, for someone to fall in love with who they are as they are. Not necessarily changing anybody, other than maybe updating a look, but it's not like to go change, the way you dress, whether it's going from, the conservative to trendy. We definitely don't want to do that. And again, it's the older age. You want to be comfortable in yourself at all times so that you are comfortable when you're on the date. That's the key thing, is you want someone to see the real you.
And if you can take a minute and stop and breathe and just get to know yourself, you're going to be so much better at letting someone else get to know you so that you can find what you ultimately want. And the rest of your life is going to be more in balance and in tune, and you're going to be happier. If you're spinning out of control like I was, you have got to stop something.
That, again, goes to relationship coaching and relationship with yourself.
And that's what I was going to ask you.
Yes.
That's a great lead-in. So I assume, Dejuan, when they come to you for relationship coaching, these are some of the things you're going to recognize.
Absolutely.
And you're going to address with them even before you're talking about them dating.
Exactly.
This is what we need to work on with you.
Everybody has to love themselves first and foremost before anybody else can love them. If they're not happy, that is a turnoff for anybody. No one's going to want to get to know you. This is totally sidebar or whatever. First thing you should always walk out the door with every single day, if you want to meet someone and be approachable, have that smile on. Plain and simple, have a smile. But yes, back to the relationship coaching. We do pinpoint areas that need improvement or things that they might be stuck in. They might not know how, like you said, how to go about a date, or they're expecting the guy to open the door, not to be turned off. That some guys don't do that. I mean, there's women and men obviously as well, because they'll date younger. The younger generation isn't like the older generation. They're not Now, I'm not saying that the manners are bad. They're just maybe not as chivalrous as you said earlier.
Let's talk about that, since you opened that can of worms. What do you think about in terms of age and dating? Do you have strong opinions there?
Age is irrelevant, 40 and older, plain and simple. Now, if a 60-year-old is trying to date a 25-year-old, I am, dead set against it. Actually, I don't think that someone in their 20s, and I've said this on many of your shows, in your teens, your parents are taking care of you. In your 20s, you're learning how to take care of yourself. In your 30s, you're getting your feet pretty well set in the ground. In your 40s, you know right from wrong. You're not going to accept anything less than what you want.
And you know yourself better.
Exactly. So from that point on, age is irrelevant. Yes, we age, but it's just a number. I mean, I've got, like I said, the 74-year-old lady. She could very easily pass as a 50-year-old. She works out. She does triathlons. I can't do a triathlon.
Well, back to that point, too. You're robbing yourself if you're a woman in your 20s and you're going after an older man to take care of you. you're going to get that older man to take care of you, and short term, you're going to think you're happy. And when that falls apart, because a 25-year-old and a 65-year-old or 55-year-old have nothing in common, you're still now at the age you were before you met that man. And now you got a whole lot of catch up to do to grow up and like yourself. You're not doing yourself any favors by finding somebody else to take care of you.
I agree. Now, I tell everybody, you know, you can very easily go 10 years older and 10 years younger. I mean, I've dated 15 years younger. I never did until I moved to Atlanta. Atlanta is a totally different, it's a totally different vibe on dating, plain and simple. But you shouldn't look how old someone is, because we have a client that's 36 that acts like he's 55. We have a client that's 60 that acts like he's 35. I mean, and he's much more active than the 36-year-old. The 36-year-old doesn't want to go do anything. He just wants to hang out on Sundays, watch sports every single Sunday, have the couch and whatever it is that he sits, and maybe a bag of potato chips, which, you know, we all talk about being health conscious and eating better. So you don't want to be with someone that is going to rob you of your future or rob you of your youth.
Living.
Yes.
Active.
Yes. So be active, whatever age you are. And it doesn't have to be that you're at the gym doing yoga, workout, lifting weights. It's just being active. Walk.
So now let's talk about how they can get actively involved with you. Do you have some things coming up that you want to talk about?
Yes, we have a lot of things. You know, and that's something else too. Even if you're not our client, come and meet us. You will love everybody that works at Heartbeat. I mean, we've got Brittany, we've got Whitney, we've got Ryan, we've got a couple other part-time people, Betsy, Charles, and Andrea. And then we have events. We host a wine tasting event, and it's a wine and cheese. It's just an open house at our office here in Atlanta, and it's a beautiful view. It's a beautiful office, and we hold that we have one a quarter. Now, our biggest thing that we have coming up is June the 29th. We have our 5-year soiree, which again is our 5-year anniversary in business. Again, like I said, I've been doing this over 35 years, but 5 years in business, and love it. I've always been about the people, kids, the elderly, homeless, no matter who you are, no matter what you have, I love people. And everybody that works at Heartbeat all love people. So we are vested in the human race being happy. We just happen to bring love to the table. So that's what we're good at. So come and meet us. We do sometimes offer speed datings, outings. We'll do bowling, we'll do hiking, there's a whole lot of...
And that's just for the general public?
General public. And it may cost a little bit more if you're not a client, but we have, again, all different kinds of services and packages that we offer. I mean, it can be a database. It can be a premier client. It can be relationship coaching, dating coaching, or come and just, take our classes. I mean, we do classes as well. I was just part of a forum the other night. It was called the Great Love Debate that Match.com was the sponsor of. And there was 6 relationship experts up on the panel, and people got to ask us questions. We are going to do something that's a little bit more involved with one of our relationship coaching, life coach, and of course me as the matchmaker and our whole team. And then we'll have image consultants. We'll have a personal trainer there. And again, the personal trainer, I don't want you to be freaking out about that, because it's not that you're going to be going to the gym lifting weights. It's just to get you actively moving. Have your body
enjoying
move.
life.
Yes, enjoying life.
So, okay, just to bring you back a little, because there's so much to talk about. June 29th, this 5-year soiree.
Yes.
Is that at your office?
No, that's going to, it's tentatively at Mason Muir, but check our website. We're not 100% sure. We're trying to get a venue a little bit closer to Midtown.
Okay.
Just so that we could have the people from the South come up. And, I mean, we have a lot of clients from Noonan on down. And, of course, we have a lot of clients in the North. And, again, like I said, we have clients all over the United States.
And you have to be a client to go to that, or
Nope.
that's open?
No, that's open to the public.
Okay.
Because we want people to come and meet us.
Right.
I mean, and when you're choosing, and if you do choose a matchmaker, you want to make sure that you have a connection with them as well. It's as hard for us we don't take all clients. I guess we should have probably said that to begin with. We don't accept everybody. You have to have a good heart, plain and simple.
You have to be in it for the right reasons.
Yeah,
that's what I love
open
about
mind.
you, Dejuan, because you'll say, nope, come back when you're serious.
Yes, exactly. And we're not here. We definitely want the person to be ready and emotionally available for a commitment.
Or help them get there.
And help them get there.
Or
right.
help someone desiring to be that and help them through your relationship advice.
Exactly. We will be doing another wine tasting. I think that we were going to try to do it before the end of this month. Again, check our website. And if it's not, it will be the 1st of June. But the end of June, June 29th, will be our 5-year soiree. So check back on that. As of right now, we have it at Mason Muir, but we're trying to change the venue.
Okay. Again, you can check Dejuan and her company out by going to www.heartbeat-matchmaker.com, and you can stay checking out her website to find out all of her upcoming events, including her June 29th soiree for her 5-year anniversary. And where that venue will be. And just go with some friends. Just enjoy yourself for a night out. You might meet other people that are in your same situation, maybe not the love of your life, but someone to continue to live your life and go out and be active with.
You never know who that person knows.
You never know.
And if you come to any of our events, every one of us are very hands-on. We will take you around and introduce you. So you're not sitting against the wall. You're not there alone. So if you don't have someone to go with, still come. Introduce
these
yourself.
Folks are
we'll
very
take care
open,
of you.
easy to talk to, comfortable. There's nothing hoity-toity reserved. It's just let's enjoy each other and love each other in whatever kind of relationship that is. As a friend, as a companion, as an acquaintance, just interested in getting to know you. Again, you can contact Dejuan if you're interested in any of her services and finding out more information at 404-536-1046 or go to her website at heartbeat-matchmaker.com. Dejuan, thank you so much for joining me again. You know, I love having you. I love talking to you. And again, just so blessed to be able to bring information to folks to empower them to live their best life ever. And we cannot forget about the power of love to help people live their best lives.
You're definitely a great addition to the Elder Ladies, for sure.
Thank you. Whitney, Brittany, thanks for joining us.
Thank
Brittany, we didn't
you.
get to you, but I know you do great things.
Yeah, we need to send a shout out. Brittany just graduated Kennesaw University.
Woohoo! Good job. Good job. I'm Jean Pete. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. I'm Jeannie Pete. Thanks for listening. Have a blessed day and week ahead. And listen here, same time next week and every week. Homestead Hope Foundation is your resource for a healthy life. God bless.